What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today I've got for you a, quite frankly, shocking story. This woman wakes up, realizes that her boyfriend isn't next to her in her bed in the middle of the night, goes to the toilet as she desperately needs to pee, and what does she find? Her boyfriend having sex with her best friend on a blow-up mattress in the living room of their house. It doesn't get much worse than that. Without further ado, sit back, relax, subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and make sure you turn notifications on so you never miss one of these crazy stories. Let's get into it. I, a 22-year-old woman, woke up in the middle of the night to find my best friend, also a 22-year-old woman, sleeping with my boyfriend, who was 24, in the living room. This was originally posted on April the 24th, 2019. I don't even know where to begin. My head is such a mess right now. So, my boyfriend John and I have been dating for 3 years, and at the beginning it was the most romantic love story. I met him when I was 18 and started dating him when I was 19, and the more I dated him, the more I saw a future with him. He would always put time and effort into me, take care of me, and go the extra mile to put a smile on my face. But things have changed since then, to say the least, after about 1.5 years of dating. It started with little things, like him not wanting to kiss me as much, or finding excuses to not hang out. We went from seeing each other every day to only hanging out maybe once or twice a week for 2 hours. I know he's got his own life, and I'm not trying to control him, but I wish he would make me feel a little more special, and maybe make an extra effort to see me. I should probably also mention that I suffer from depression and low self-esteem, and it's probably really hard on John when I'm in a bad state. I try not to, but sometimes I just can't help feeling so alone and in the dark. So, anyways, we were celebrating my best friend's, well, ex-best friend's now, birthday at my house last night with a bunch of friends, maybe about 20, and there was a fair bit of drinking. The reason she couldn't have a party at her house was because she shares her place with roommates, which was fine because I had no problem throwing her party at mine as long as she helped clean the house up in the morning. The night went alright, but I did notice that John and Sarah, my best friend, were getting a little too close, like him grabbing her from behind and spinning her around. But I just brushed it off because I never noticed anything before and we're all best friends. So after around midnight, everyone has left, and John, Sarah and I are just chilling in the lounge, laughing about our night together. And when I was ready for bed, I set up a mattress in the lounge for Sarah, and John told me he'd be in our bed soon. So I went to bed and I crashed alone. Maybe after a few hours, I woke up in the middle of the night desperately needing to pee. Now, I don't have a bathroom connected to my room, it's down the hall. So I slowly get up and realise that John isn't in our bed. So I went to walk down the hall when I start to hear like moaning noises, and I'm like, what the F? And I peek my head down the hall to see John and Sarah having sex. I know, I should have confronted them right there and then, but I couldn't. I just sneaked back into bed and cried silently. I didn't even have a chance to pee. So, now it's morning. John has snuck back into our bed and is acting like nothing's happened. I've lost a lifelong best friend and a boyfriend I put 3 years into. I don't even know how to confront them. I'm not even sure if I can confirm what I'd seen because we were all drinking. It's driving my insanity crazy. But the real kicker is that John and I haven't slept together in months, but he can sleep with her? I just feel so low. How can I confront them and even begin to process this? I don't want to lose John. We have our ups and downs, but he's everything to me. If anyone has ever been in this situation and has any advice, feel free to let me know. Just don't be too brutal. I think I already know what I have to do. Right, let's jump straight into the comments here and see if Redditors gave any good advice or not. Somebody said, "Unbelievable. I'm so sorry this happened to you. I would first sit down with John and just be straight up about what you saw and heard. There's no way he can lie or deny it without looking like an idiot. I would deal with Sarah afterwards. Dang snake. Honestly though, if it were me in this situation, I would cut them both off right after confronting them. No questions asked. What your friend and boyfriend did was beyond betrayal. There are no excuses, and I wouldn't even bother trying to hear them out." Yeah, very good advice. OP replied, "I'm thinking about doing this once Sarah leaves, which should hopefully be soon. I'm just hiding away in my room. I feel so pathetic. Wait, what? Is this like happening live? Oh my goodness me. So this is happening the morning after OP's writing this on Reddit. Oh my goodness. This is like, we're there in the room. Goodness me. Somebody else said, well, all I can say is leave. He cheated on you and broke your trust. You deserve better. Find someone who respects you. Now, OP replied to this saying, one thing I'm scared about leaving is that he has private photos of me and I'm afraid he will share them if I leave him in such an abrupt way. He can be that kind of petty person. I think I know his password. I'm going to try and delete the photos before I confront him with the excuse that I need to check my email or something like that. I'm just hoping they aren't backed up. But if something happens, I will definitely go to the police. Yeah, I mean, that is tough that would be a reason to not leave somebody. But, you know, if those photos do go anywhere, that is a very serious crime. But I do understand your concern. Finally, somebody said, you need to call both of them out and get out of the relationship ASAP. If he's willing to cheat on you in your house with what was supposed to be your best friend, he'll never change. And it also sounds like he's been pushing you away already anyways. But like I said, if he's willing to F someone else when you're in the next room, that's unacceptable. I would have been beating my friend's face in. So I do give you props for not stabbing either of them. Not just one person broke your trust, but two of them together. Anyway, get out now. This means most likely he's been effing other people too. Probably, at least. Sorry for the double betrayal. And then OP says, thank you for the encouragement. I wish I had your strength. I'm going to confront him when Sarah leaves. I just can't believe that OP is in her room. Her boyfriend is now back in bed next to her. She's on her phone, typing this on Reddit and replying to people who are giving good advice like this with her boyfriend next to her, who's done the unspeakable, the unthinkable. And Sarah is still there, probably asleep in the lounge, in the other room, on that same blow-up mattress that she had sex with your boyfriend on hours ago. Crazy. Okay, now the next day, on April 25th, OP gave us a little edit/update. She said, I used the excuse that I had to text my mum and ask what day we're hanging out. I don't have credit and John knows that, so he didn't suspect anything when I asked for his phone. I went through his phone and the evidence was pretty damning. They've been sleeping together for a while. I took screenshots of their conversations and sent it to my phone in case he tried to deny it. After all that, I confronted him when Sarah left. It was so hard to even get the words out. And you know what? He denied it. He told me that he loves me more than anything and would never do that, and that I should know that and to stop accusing him of such silly nonsense. That's when I told him I've seen all of his and Sarah's messages. At first, he still kept denying it, saying someone's hacked his accounts and he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But eventually he broke down crying, saying he loves me and doesn't want to lose me, but couldn't feel the spark anymore. And it was the biggest mistake of his life. He wants to make this work and push past this. Well, maybe you should have tried instead of sleeping with my best friend. So I told him to leave, and of course he doesn't know where his car keys are, and asks if it's okay to stay for a few hours when his best friend Mark gets off work so he can pick him up. It was so difficult to say no, but I did. I just wanted to be alone. I don't even know who he is anymore. He ended up finding his car keys and he's been calling and messaging me ever since. As for Sarah, I got a message from her saying this. I'm assuming that John gave her the heads up. I can't even explain how sorry I am. I never wanted to hurt you, and I don't know how this happened, but something grew between John and I can't deny that what we have is so intensely strong and real. I hope we can work for this, and I hope you can someday come to become okay with me and John being a couple. I wish you the best of luck, and when you're ready, please message me. Lots of love. So I don't know what to believe. John is telling me he wants to work through this, while Sarah is saying they're a couple. I'm now going to be ending it with John, and my mum is going to come meet with me and stay for a few days to make sure I'm okay. Thank you for all the advice, Reddit. And then a sad face to end. All right, let's jump into the comments on this one. Somebody said, quoting, I never wanted to hurt you, and I don't know how this happened, but something grew between John and I can't deny that what we have is so intensely strong and real. Yeah, so real. Oh my God, they say. Until one of them loses that spark and cheats on the other. This is how people act when they have no self-control or willpower. If you're losing the spark, you don't go and F other people. You try to work on your relationship, or you end it if you're not willing. OP said, yeah, exactly. He should have ended it with me months ago when he first felt something, for the snake at least. I no longer have any respect for either of them, and nor should you. Okay, now let's get into the second edit/update. OP says, first of all, I would like to thank everyone for your words of advice and support. I really appreciate all of that in a time like this. Some of you guys suggested that I send the messages that John sent me to Sarah. Me and my mum talked about it and how I might come off as spiteful and jealous, but I thought screw it. I don't owe you guys a time of day or respect, so I sent them to her. At first, she didn't respond and ignored it, but then replied, asking to meet up and discuss this. She is now playing the victim, saying she had no idea that John still wanted to pursue me and that we've both been played. God, that is so poor. So while you are having sex with your best friend's boyfriend, and you know what you're doing, you say, oh, he's playing us both. No, you're an idiot. Anyway, OP says, I have no idea if Sarah messaged John or what came of those messages. I honestly want nothing to do with them anymore. My plan is to pack up all of John's stuff and leave it out the front outside, then message him, come and collect it while I'm at work. He's got 3 days to get it until I donate it to a charity. I also then blocked his number and every social media account so he can no longer contact me. I've also removed his name from any shared responsibilities or accounts we have together, and any mail of his that is sent to my address will be returned to sender because I'm not putting up with any more of his trash. As for Sarah, I have no intention of keeping that snake as a best friend, but unfortunately we travel in the same friend group, so I'll just have to avoid any future gatherings that she is participating in. Luckily, I have friends that love me and will help me move through this. Thank you again for your support. And one final edit here, he picked up his stuff, loaded it into his car, and then showed up to my door. I told him to pick it up during my work hours, but of course he didn't have the decency to give me frickin' that. I'm so angry. Mum said that he tried to walk through the door and she told him to get lost and slammed the door in his face. I could hear him calling my name and it made me cry a little harder, but I just wish I could have had the satisfaction of watching him have the door slammed in his face. Just, what a piece of trash. And one final comment from OP before I give my thoughts on this. I spoke about it to 2 of my friends, and I'm assuming that everyone knows by now. I just don't have the mindset to really talk about it with them at the moment, but they understand. But as much as I hate her, I don't want the group to feel like they have to choose. Well, in my opinion, they absolutely should choose, and they should make the right decision, because if that was me, if I were you, OP, I would never want to see this ex-best friend ever again, and I would make it abundantly clear to all my friends that I'm not going to be in the same room as them ever. So if they want to see me, she can't be there, and then they should make the right decision because she did something horrible and you were just living your life. So I wouldn't want to be friends with someone that did stuff like this anyway. It doesn't even matter if I had to choose between one friend or the other. But yeah, I think they should choose, and you should make a decision. If you want to choose her, that's cool. I don't want to be friends with you anyway. I mean, it does just bring me back to the main point that I seem to always make when reading stories like this, which is I just don't understand why you don't break up with somebody if you don't like them or if you're tempted to cheat on someone else. Like, if you are tempted to cheat on somebody while you're still in a relationship with your girlfriend or your partner, that is actually fine. At that point, you should then say to yourself, okay, I'm having these sort of thoughts. Now I need to break up before I actually do something like that or emotionally cheat. Like, if you're thinking about other people, at that point, you should probably move on. Don't wait till you actually do it. Okay, that's probably come across as really bad. Like, thinking about cheating on somebody is not what I mean. I mean like thinking about being with somebody else or thinking about not being with your partner. Or if the idea of like being with somebody else excites you, then I think at that point, you probably need to have a look at yourself and think, am I willing to work on this or am I done here? Not, can I get away with actually physically being with somebody else and then still having them sort of, as in my partner, sort of like be the main person, but then I'm actually having fun on the other side. Yeah, I just don't get how you get to that point. I'm probably going to get killed in the comments for saying that because I haven't worded that very well. But I think People would be lying to themselves if they said they'd never thought of being with somebody else while at the end of a relationship with your ex. It's just like, you need to break up before you do that. Maybe. Kill me in the comments, I don't care. Actually, to be fair, I don't think I've ever actually thought that myself, so maybe I'm just chatting absolute wash, as I usually do. For me, actually, that didn't happen. I just knew it wasn't the right relationship for me, my last relationship. There we go. A lot of waffle, but that's why you subscribe. I mean, is that true? I do kind of remember still being in a relationship and thinking, that girl over there is very fit. And I was questioning whether I wanted to be in a relationship at the time or not. And at that moment, I thought to myself, okay, probably should end the relationship then, or at least really strongly consider it. Does that make me a bad person? Does that make me a really good guy? Just an honest guy? That's up to you. There we go. Anyway, guys, we're going to leave it there for this one. Just the one story today, but a lot of waffle at the end. And let me know in the comments down below, do you like the waffle? I feel like the more I do this, the more sort of, not vulnerable, but the more stories I tell, which I'm just not sure I should tell. I mean, even that last thing I said, there's no way I would have said that a couple of years ago. But let it fly. Let's just see what the people have to say about it, okay? And of course, those people are you. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Do you want more of that? Or more stories? You tell me. Thank you for watching and listening. As always, have a good rest of your day, and I'll catch you next time.